all of a sudden, those Affleck commercials where they're like kind of joking, Deion and Nick Saban are going to be competing against each other in the recruiting portal. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a problem. You just wait for it. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, EA college football, pro football, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button. Won't cost you anything. All it's going to cost you is being up to date on all things college football, EA college football, pro football, Madden, anything related to football. Like the video too. Share it also. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, here we are on Monday, and the CFP final rankings have just come out. Bowl games have been announced too. Let's get into that. However, I want to get into that first because there's a bigger story, in my personal opinion, coming up later. But first, let's get into that CFP rankings right now. Boom, here we are with ESPN.com. We have Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State chosen for the college football playoff. I actually really appreciate this. Georgia comes out, wins the SEC championship game 13-0, very, very well understood there. Michigan comes out, has a tougher than you would imagine game against Purdue, wins the Big 12 there, or the Big 10 there. TCU, and again, if you think about this 12-0 all year long, they have an overtime loss. They go for it on fourth down and overtime, get stuffed, and then they give up a field goal. They lose to Kansas State at a neutral site. And then Ohio State, only one loss. Now, that one loss was to the number 2 team. Got boat raced at home there. So I felt like it was good. The final rankings that, again, Alabama was 5, Tennessee was 6. So, I know the SEC fans are going to be upset there. I had said there was a situation where there could be potentially 3 out of 4 teams in the top 4 for the CFP from the SEC. The SEC Nightmare Week happened a couple weeks ago. I had a video about that. But I'm glad they did this. Don't necessarily punish TCU too much for losing that game. It was a tough game, kind of a toss-up on there. I'm really happy that Ohio State doesn't have to rematch Michigan. I know that was a good rivalry game there, but if they have a potential to rematch, it would be in the national championship game. And then you also have, again, Georgia and Ohio State. It's a 6.5-point spread that is considerable, but it's not some double-digit 21-point, deficit there. So Georgia is favored, but I think they're going to have a tougher road than last year when they had that legendary team. But again, I said before, this is the second biggest news story, in my personal opinion, that happened over the weekend. The first was this. Oh my God. The Colorado Buffaloes, kind of known for being... They can have some talented teams from time to time, but they've never really been known as being a Pac-12 power. They were originally in the Big 8, joined the Big 12, came over to the Pac-12. Kind of felt weird, and they transitioned from heavily recruiting in the South to now recruiting out West Coast. A lot of their alumni are out there, kind of in a weird spot out there. Are they an educational institution that doesn't really care about sports? What are they? Well, they do care enough to get your boy Deion Sanders. Here we are from Pete Thamel. Deion Sanders will be the next head coach at Colorado. The school announced Saturday night, instantly making him one of the most compelling hires in college football this generation. Not even close. We have to get into this later on because there's multiple reasons why this is going to be a giant hire. Sanders comes with just 3 years of experience coaching in college football, as he went 27-5 at Jackson State. The Tigers, 12-0 this season, completed an undefeated regular season Saturday with a 43-24 blowout of Southern for the SWAC championship. Think about that. He entered this year 15-5. He left this year 27-5. They are really good. I wish they could have played in the FCS championship. I would have loved to see them play against the likes of South Dakota State, Montana State, things like that. I would have really, really enjoyed seeing that. He informed his team of the departure soon after the Saturday's win. He is still slated to coach Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl on December 17th against North Carolina Central, sources told ESPN. However, I will let you know here, and this is a big aspect of this, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be hitting the recruiting trail because the early signing window is right around that time period. He is going to be doing that. I think Deion is seems to be, not that he's not schematic in any way, he seems like he's more of a program builder than he is necessarily like a heavily schematic coach. As an example, I love my boy Dave Clawson. If you watched this channel before, I love him. The Slow-Mish out at Wake Forest. He's not a program builder, but he's known for offensive innovation. Same thing when you think about Chip Kelly down at UCLA. When he was at Oregon, UCLA, he is an innovator, not necessarily bad at recruiting. But then you think about players, a coach like Pete Carroll when he was at USC, program builder. Okay, Matt Rule when he was at Baylor and Temple, program builder. That's what they do. There's a couple that are hybrid. They can basically do everything. Obviously, I think that Nick Saban, really, really good defensive mind, and at the same time as also being a really good program builder. I think Dabo Sweeney probably leans more towards program builder too. Not to say he's not schematic in that way, but again, look at this right here. He is a big-time program builder, extremely, extremely, influential of young black players. So I think that if I'm not telling you right now, I'm just saying he is going to be a problem for a lot of bigger teams in recruiting in this next coming year. It also says here the fact that Colorado's kind of been down, and if you look at their record, I mean they've really had some issues recently. So here is the record for the Colorado Buffaloes, and you see the fact that look at Carl Jarrell went 4-2 in the COVID year, went to the Alamo Bowl and lost that. Mel Tucker went over to Colorado, went 5-7, and then he went to Michigan State, so not a bad decision there. But then you see the fact that here we've got 1-11, 4-8, 4-2, solid, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 10-4, which is good. I see you, Mike McIntyre. But then before that, 4-9, 2-10, 4-8, 1-11, 3-10, 5-7, 3-9, 5-7, 6-7, and then 2-10. God, they've got a lot. There's a lot of double-digit loss, situations over here. So the program, if you really look at them, they're similar to Wisconsin, where Wisconsin only really experienced a lot of success once Barry Alvarez took over, and he kind of set the stage from there. You come down here and you see Bill McCartney. Bill McCartney was kind of where they were most famous. Rick Neuheisel did a decent job. Gary Barnett did okay as well. Dan Hawkins tried. But for the most part, it's been one really good coach. Bill McCartney, very, very sought out here. 11-1, 11-11, 1-1, 9-2. 8-3-1, 11-1 by Bill McCartney at the Fiesta Bowl that one year. So solid, but at the same time, I think that for the most part they don't have as much history as you would imagine. Again, national championship as early as 1990, so you could definitely win there outside of the Denver market. But I'm telling you right now, Deion Sanders is such a huge factor because his ability to connect with young black men. And I'm telling you right now, this is what's going to happen pretty soon here. Here we are from the Action Network colleges, and you see the fact that this is players running to the transfer portal to join Deion Sanders in Colorado. Let's see what they say. Most notably, his kin, Shadur Sanders. Shadur is solid 6'2", 215. Very, very good. If you come down here and check his stats this last season, this is what's coming over to Colorado. 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,300 yards, 158 QB rating, 5 touchdowns on the ground, and 174 yards. Really, really solid. He's definitely been groomed by his dad, trying to get him to the league. He's done a really good job with that. So more than likely, he is going to be coming over in the transfer portal. I said before, with Colorado Buffaloes Wire.com, I'm telling you, Colorado Buffs, you would never imagine so much excitement from the Buffs, but I'm telling you right now, this is what's going to happen. Jackson State, Shadur Sanders expected to follow Deion to Colorado, and you would imagine that too. He's not going to be the only one. Remember how he did in recruiting this last year. So you come down here and check this out. So Jackson State last year was the 122nd composite team ranking in all of college football. So remember, that's including FBS and FCS. There's 131 FBS teams, which means this team with only 8 commits did better than like a considerable number. Like I want to say it was 18, 19 FBS schools. And I think about it, they only had 8 commits. But I remember one of them was number 1 overall player in the country, Travis Hunter, cornerback. And then we have Kevin Coleman, who is the number 54 player in the country, number 6 receiver. He does a really, really good job of pulling people away from those big schools. And I guarantee you right now, I'm just telling you right now, I would bet that Travis Hunter, maybe even Kevin Coleman, are coming over with him. And it seems to be that Outkick.com, Grayson Wire, already sees that Travis Hunter teases transfer after Deion Sanders lands former Texas A&M pledge as first Colorado commit. You come over and check this out. That is absolutely nuts. So you see the fact that less than 24 hours after officially being named the new head coach at UC Boulder, Prime landed a first top-ranked recruit. Winston Wakens Jr., a 4-star receiver in the class of 2025, announced his commitment to the Buffaloes on Sunday. He's the number 4 ranked pass catcher in the class per On3 Sports and the number 20 ranked recruit overall. That is absolutely huge there. You see the fact that he had offers from Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, and Tennessee. 5'8.5", 170 player will play in the slot. Does a really, really good job there. So you see the fact he's related to Clemson and NFL wide receiver Sammy Watkins. So he's already been able to pull some people over there. But then you see the fact that, coming down here and see Travis Hunter, he's already pulling people over. I think, and again, this little smiley face, I'm not saying I know something, but I'm saying that I think that there's more to this than you would imagine, man. But I think Travis Hunter's going to Colorado is what I'm saying. And then come over here to their current class of guys that have committed. Now, remember, these committed to Carl Durrell when he was there. That class was recruiting these guys. Now the head coach is Deion Sanders. These guys, again, think about this. 11-28 was the commit. Nobody here knew that it was going to be Deion Sanders as the head coach. I would not be surprised. You see this happen a lot when a new coach comes in. A lot of people, either that coach leaves and goes somewhere else and takes those recruits with them, or a new coach comes in and then it just loses a lot of our commits anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these commits hold. Again, Deion is a program builder. I'm telling you right now, these guys committed before they knew he was going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if they left. However, these are just the commits. Colorado was also, targeting a lot of other guys here too. You come over to the prospect section. Now, this includes some of the guys that have committed, and then some of these over here are the ones that haven't yet. So these are all high choices. So you see the fact that in the top, 36 is Colorado for the number 13 player in the country. I want to say Nichols Harbor, and then you've got Adarius Redmond, a wide receiver from Powell, Tennessee. So we've got 4-star or 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 3-star, 3-star. There's a couple of years. I would not be surprised if this group right here, he's able to pull a lot more of these guys than you would imagine. The Colorado Buffaloes, who just came off a 1-11 record. I'm telling you right now, Deion has that much sway with players. And I think Deion's already kind of hinted the fact that he's bringing Shedeur with him. So Shedur's coming over. He also said about 10 others. He said, and they're dogs. I love Deion Sanders. This video, I'm going to include it in the description. I'm not going to play it, but I'm telling you right now, it is insightful because Deion, dude, looks like he's taking the good ones with him to Jackson, or from Jackson to Colorado. So I basically told this group, it was actually pretty crazy, where he was like, no, I don't want any hats in here. And a guy back here took his hat off. It was actually kind of hilarious. But you can tell he's going to change this program. He says, as he says, I'm coming. So it's a crazy situation. I'm not saying that they're going to win the national championship in the next season. I will tell you, though, if Deion has the ability to do what Deion does, he's only been coaching football for a couple of years here, but he's got such an ability to connect with players, and he knows he's worked with so many dudes in the NFL. He knows he can walk into anybody in their room with their mom and their dad in terms of recruiting. In the same way that Nick Saban I can get you to the NFL, Deion's going to say, I'm going to get you to the NFL. He's got just as much sway. All of a sudden, those Affleck commercials where they're like kind of joking, Deion and Nick Saban are going to be competing against each other in the recruiting portal. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a problem. You just wait for it. Colorado Buffaloes, the stock is down right now, but it's a good time to buy because the stock's only going up. All right, guys, get in the comments right now. What do you guys think of Deion? Do you think they're not going to be able to be competitive? Do you think he's not going to be able to figure it out? What are your comments right now? Get in the comments right now and let me know. Beyond that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I am out.